When I met the gallery owner that wanted to show my work, he also needed a framer. I had done some framing, so I started framing in the gallery and being represented by the same gallery. So it was kind of funny when somebody would be upstairs saying, "Tell me more about this artist." They would say, "Oh, he's downstairs building frames if you want to talk to him." So I would come up, and then after a few years of that, they told me, we'd both do better if you were painting more.
I saw this tiny little painting, and it was maybe a Cincinnati skyline, and maybe had some wind-up toys in it, and it was so playful and so perfectly executed. And I said to Gary and Laura, who were the owners of the gallery at the time, "Who is this? Who is this?" And Gary was like, "That's Jonathan Queen. He works at the gallery. He does a lot of framing, and he does a lot of prep work, and he's also an incredible painter." We all agreed that this was an incredible moment for our works if we could find the right project for Jonathan. And it took a while. It took a couple years to find the right project. And the right project came along through the Kroger Corporation and the opportunity to paint a mural on their corporate headquarters.
In 2012, I was asked to submit a design for a Kroger mural on their corporate offices. And I had about 1 week to come up with a design and submit it. Basically, I was trying to come up with something that didn't seem too commercial, but just, represented, what does a grocer do? They bring produce, they bring supplies to the public. I've done several shadow box paintings, and I thought, well, what if I made a produce crate to the proportion of that wall and put it on its side, like produce is going to spill out. So I went to Kroger and I bought a shopping cart full of produce, and I built the crate. I actually made kind of a Lazy Susan thing in my backyard so I could swivel it and do a photo shoot using the sun.
And he waited for the sun to be at the exact right angle, and he was looking for the way the crate's wooden bars and the shadows were cast by the way the sun was coming in, the way the water was beating up on the corn and the apple.
I started the project. This is the first time I'd ever been a project manager of anything, the first mural I'd ever done.
We built this enormous scaffolding, and we put 15 people on that wall with Jonathan, and they grid the wall, and they transfer the design, and they get going, and they start painting.
We gridded off the wall in 2-foot squares, and then transferred a line drawing of the image. It's kind of like a giant paint by number, in the sense that I'm mixing colors and then people are taking them and blocking it in. Basically at the end we had a detail crew that would do all of the final modeling of the form.
It was very well received both by the community and certainly that jump-started in a lot of ways interest in his paintings.
Doing it like that and creating your work through the lens of a camera and then taking it into a computer and then generating the changes that he needed to make and then taking that and translating it to a wall that's 7,000 square feet. It's nothing about it is simple. It's daunting. This is a man who hadn't done many paintings that were much larger than this. I like to tease him and say 8 by 10s. And I know he just looked at this wall and went, "Oh my God." But he also looked at the wall and said, "I got it."
He has sort of found success mid-career. Certainly the carousel has shined a lot of light on him as an artist.
The carousel is basically trying to honor Cincinnati Park history, local Cincinnati history.
So we wanted to have a carousel because we know it's a great fun element in a park, not just for children, but for adults, for whole families. But we wanted this carousel to be something special and to be about Cincinnati. So in fact, we knew from the get-go, we wanted it to be rooted in some special meaning about this place, to be unlike any other carousel. And the way to do that would really to be through the artfulness of its design.
Knowing that we wanted the carousel to be special, we brought in Artworks as our partner so that we would have some student engagement, which was important to us.
Again, as the plan evolved, we realized it would be a better feature, we thought, to have something that was inside a building, carousel in a building that could operate all year long.
So the original idea was that they wanted Cincinnati Park landscapes to be represented around the top of the carousel.
So there were, I think, 32 in all murals. There were a series on the outside ring and then a series on the inside ring.
A lot of it is about the introduction of animals, and so that seemed to be natural for the carousel.
I thought it'd be more fun to include animals doing different activities, having fun in those scenes, so that the adults and the children that visit, everybody would kind of have an entry point into these paintings.